Australia Cup champions.
Sydney FC, they win the cup.
And a very good evening to one and all, and welcome to 10 Plays, continuing coverage of the Australia Cup. Tonight, our cameras are at Perry Park in Brisbane for the remaining quarter-final, and it's another David versus Goliath clash as Moreton City Excelsior from the NPL Queensland take on the twice former winners of the Cup and A-League giants Melbourne Victory. Nice conditions as well for the Sunshine State for football, 19 degrees. And a good gallery on hand in the stands as well. Simon Hill and Andy Harper in the commentary booth with you this evening for this fascinating clash. Moreton City have already, of course, seen off one A-League club in the shape of Perth Glory at this venue, coming from 2-0 down after 10 minutes to ultimately win 3-2. And they are eyeing off a first ever semi-final appearance tonight. Melbourne Victory, for their part, have breezed through to this stage, knocking in 4 against NWS Spirit and the Lambton Jaffers, and they are looking to reach the last 4 for the 4th time, and the first since they last won the trophy in 2021. Moreton City Excelsior have had a busy and rather disappointing week, losing the NPL Queensland Grand Final to Lions at Suncorp Stadium, their second consecutive losing Grand Final. But of course they should have little trouble getting motivated for this one. And Victory, of course, preparing for another assault on the A-League after they too lost their grand final last season against the Central Coast Mariners. They have won 11 out of 12 cup ties against NPL opposition. Melbourne Victory, the one exception, as I'm sure you remember, one of the big cup upsets in the tournament's history against Apia Leichhardt in the round of 16 back in 2018 when they lost by 3-2. Now the team news: Moreton City Excelsior make just one change from the side that lost that NPL Queensland Grand Final to Lions. Jack McAnally replacing the cup-tied Keitatsu Kojima at left wing-back. Marquez Walters is one to keep an eye on. He scored 3 in the final rounds of the Cup to go with the 22 he netted in the league, which has reportedly attracted interest from Brisbane Roar. Likewise, Ben Holliday, who's trialled with the Central Coast Mariners and has other clubs keen to acquire his signature. The team captained by Declan Smith, one of 4 high school teachers in that starting 11. So no doubt they have done their homework on Melbourne Victory. And super sub Joe Scott, who got the winner against Perth Glory, is on the bench. Now Melbourne Victory go with the same 11 that saw off NWS Spirit in the round of 16, which means Adama Traore and Bruno Fornaroli again have to be content with a spot on the bench. New signing Nikos Vergos is selected to lead the attack. Youngster Casey Boss is again preferred at left back. Nishan Balupale has been in red-hot form in this year's Cup, scoring doubles against both Spirit and the Lambton Jaffers in the round of 32. And you can add 2 assists to that tally as well. 3 new signings on the bench: Jing Reese, Josh Rawlins and Reno Piscopo. There is Cameron Miller at just 30 years of age. He is the youngest coach in the competition this year. He took over from Royce Brownlee in 2022. And he says he has ambitions to coach at professional level. So tonight a nice shop window for him and his team. Our match referee this evening is Jonathan Barrero. Andrew Lindsay and Joey Lee running the lines. Adam Kersey is the 4th official, just lining up for photos. The 2 skippers, Roderick Miranda of Victory and Declan Smith of Moreton City Excelsior, in their specially designed Australia Cup kits this evening. And there's Paddy Kisnorbo, the new coach of Victory. Of course, he never got past the quarter-final stage of the Cup during his tenure with Melbourne City. He signed a 3-year deal with Victory after a rather disappointing stint in charge of French club Troyes. Here comes the match ball onto the pristine surface that is Perry Park, very much the home of football, traditionally at least, in the Sunshine State. Football Queensland, of course, along with Brisbane Roar, have outlined plans to redevelop this place as a home for the game in future years. For now, it's pretty much unchanged from when a certain Andy Harper was playing here for the Brisbane Strikers back in the 80s and 90s, I think it was, wasn't it? Brisbane Strikers. Hear from Andy in a moment, but we are all set. Another big cup night in prospect. One place remaining to conclude the semi-final lineup. And so far this season, Harps, we've seen 4 A-League teams knocked out by NPL opposition. Could we see another shock tonight?
Well, stranger things have happened. Melbourne Victory will come in favourites. They've looked good under their new coach, Paddy Kuznorbo, so you'd expect them to win. But Moreton Bay have been very impressive, coming from behind to deal that blow to Perth Glory, albeit Glory in a transition phase themselves. They've done really well, so it's possible, very possible. And there's a decent crowd here at Perry Park to cheer the team on as well.
Victory just managing to play through that high press from Moreton City Excelsior. Now they'll look to launch an attack of their own. Jordi Valadon with the crossfield ball. Casey Boss bringing it under his control. Always difficult, of course, for A-League clubs at this stage of their pre-season. That's a foul on Ryan Teague. Zach Kierpel and Seita Murai between them, making sure that the Victory man made no further progress, but at the expense of this set piece, which Daniel Arzani will look to deliver. Robert Miranda among those who's made his way into the penalty area. The delivery a bit flat. Teague on the volley. And a bit of a slip on the greasy top by Seita Murai. Jordan Valadon for Jason Guerrier, who's won 2 Australia Cups during his time with Melbourne Victory, 2015, and of course the last time they won it in 2021, defeating the Central Coast Mariners in the final. Zinedine Mashash showing us some of the skills that made him such a crowd favourite with the Victory supporters last season. Has support here from Jordi Valadon. Mashash again. Oh. That manoeuvre, it's called the donkey manoeuvre, or what's it called?
Because that's what it makes the defenders look like when it comes up. I don't know, but more of it, please. Ole from...
It has a name, which I've forgotten.
Well, I can't help you out on that one. But let's see more such innovation. Mashash has been very easy on the eye since joining the league and settling in at Melbourne Victory, and now in the Australia Cup he's turning it on in Brisbane.
Furthest Zinedine Mashash has ever gone in a cup competition was to the semi-finals of the KNVB Cup in the Netherlands with VVV Venlo.
There's a lot of letters in that description.
Yeah, a lot of V's.
KNVB Cup, VVV.
Well, making you thirsty, Harps.
The Vavoon. Really interested tonight to see how Ben Holiday and Marquez Walters go. They've really been excellent in the games that have been streamcast on a national basis in this cup. And it's no surprise. And actually, Simon, it's really heartening to hear that actually A-League clubs are knocking on the door and seeing quite what they're made of. 2 very exciting talents.
Up in the air by Valupale, but hooked to safety up towards Marquez Walters. Now McAnally. Got a bit lucky there, but they come away with the ball. Squared up by Teague for Jason Guerrier. He'll send it looping over the top, and Nathan Foster came a long way and got a bit of a whack for his troubles as well. Hence the whistle.
All eyes for the ball from Burgos, so don't get too angry with him, but Foster committed off the line, takes the hit. He's been very good too in the Moreton Bay goal. Very, very good.
Made 5 saves against Glory in the last round. He joined the club this season from the Marconi Stallions in the NPL New South Wales. Walters going to ground, and there was enough in that from Miranda for Jonathan Barrero to blow the whistle. Gives them the chance, Moreton City Excelsior, to throw the likes of Reece Gwynn-Jones and Declan Smith forward.
Well, they have got a bit of height there. Victory's defence isn't overly tall. Miranda, probably the tallest of them.
Declan Smith, 6'4". It's volleyed away by Arzani. Lachlan Sayers. Here's the captain, Declan Smith. They've made good progress up until that point. Moreton City Excelsior, but Roderick Miranda's experience proving key for victory, and an errant touch from Vergos. And Moreton City the throw. Technically the youngest club in the Australian Cup competition. As you remember, the old Moreton Bay United, but they joined forces with Albany City Excelsior to make the new club. This is not their home ground, of course. That is Walter Park in Albany Creek. They've made Perry Park a fortress in this competition, at least, with that win over Glory in the last round. Helped on by Hamill to his defensive partner, Roderick Miranda. No Damien De Silva, of course, this season for Melbourne Victory. He's departed.
Yeah, it's a big loss. He was excellent. And, you know, some trimming to many of the player squads and budgets. And evidence also at the Victory.
Burgos trying to spin away from his man. Oh, that's clear foul by McAnally.
But they've started well in this game. On the back of successive wins in the Cup. Very convincing performances, both of those. Big season coming up for Daniel Arzani. Again, we're still waiting for the time when we don't have to say this is a big season coming up for Daniel Arzani. Last year was terrific for him, back into the Socceroos frame. Let's hope that was the big corner turned for him, and he can back it up again this season. The club's hopes, his personal hopes, and possibly the national team's interests riding on his form to a certain extent.
Let's see what he can do with this free kick. First national cap in 6 years against Palestine back in June, just his 7th in all. And it's a good shake to it, and Victory have hit the front. Nikos Vergos, with his 2nd goal in the competition, climbed highest, and there was nothing Moreton City Excelsior could do, nor Nathan Foster in goal, and Victory lead by 1-0.
Well, they've got the marking done. It wasn't necessarily as though the Moreton defence was asleep at the wheel, But the ball in from Arzani was really beautifully looped right onto the spot. And all Burgos has to do is to leap and help the ball on its way. It looked a pretty pain-free goal for Melbourne Victory. And it was some very good precision involved in that delivery and the touch on. And Moreton are going to have to come from behind again to knock out a top-tier team if they're to progress.
After 10 minutes against Perth Glory, they were 2-0 down. It's just the solitary goal this time. Let's see if Lightning does indeed strike twice. They've got a corner, thanks to Marquez Walters.
Great time to hit straight back, if they can. Ben Holiday's got a beautiful left foot. And if he can muster all that quality into this delivery, give his team a chance to get back square as soon as almost they've gone behind. Can he do it?
Smith and Gwyn Jones are in there towards the near post. Burgos heads it away for victory. Spooned up in the air by Lachlan Sayers. Gary underneath it. And brought down by Geordie Valadon. Check run from Arzadi, who of course won the cup with MacArthur a couple of years ago. That's a careless giveaway though by Jason Guerrier. Unfortunately for Moreton City, Excelsior, the pass wasn't quite pinpoint enough for Walters.
No, I think you're just got his bearings a little wrong there. Great opportunity as well from that potential turnover to have put Marquez Walters away.
There goes Ben Holiday. Jason Guerrier, vastly experienced. Sees it safely behind for a corner.
He's got a nice left foot. He's got a good turn of pace. Bundled off the ball there by Jason Guerrier, but wins the corner nonetheless.
Which Chris Marr will amble across and take. He was part of the Brisbane Strikers team that got to the semi-finals of the then FFA Cup a few years ago before they were beaten by Melbourne City. Headed out by Roderick Miranda. And back with Lachlan Sayers. Tidy work by McAnally. It's good strength by Walters, but again, just not quite able to link up with a teammate.
No, they're good. They're touch players. Holiday, Walters, Murray, Declan Smith when he joins in. They've got good touch. And when they play good football, it's good touch football. It's just been absent in these earlier moments, perhaps a little nervous.
It's almost deceived Jason Guerrier. Teague looking to settle things down for victory. It was all very tight in there. A good foraging by Moreton City Excelsior. And now they've got a chance to release Walters on the right. And the cutback only finds Brendan Hamill. And the ball didn't quite go out for a corner this time. But a bit more encouragement for the home side.
Decent little spell for them, and they've got good enough players to really worry victory if they can get the passes to stick, which they're doing in the last couple of sequences.
Murray feeding Holiday. Going to get around Guerrier, and he did to find the angle for the cross, but safely pouched by Duncan.
There was probably enough time, as that ball has gone wide to Holiday, for someone to be determined to get to that near post. The only person in the end is the victory keeper, Jack Duncan. It was a good chance from Moreton Bay.
Galupale, Mashash, have a go here. Off the head of Kierpol. Oh, it's really well played by Marquez Walters. Rolling his central defender, Roderick Miranda. looking for Holiday. And they will find him. He's drifted to the edge of the penalty area, but no further. Just looks as though Moreton City have settled a bit.
Yeah, really good last couple of minutes. Some defending there from Victor. Holiday cutting in on his right foot. He had a little bit more speed about him just on that occasion. It looked like gave him a lot of time to play then, and it was courting danger, I think, because he's not the player you want to give a lot of room to, Ben Holiday.
Shash beaten to it by Declan Smith. It's nicely played. Here's the skipper. They're going to drive it cross field. Walters. Murray. Very much plays in the pockets as the number 10. And Walters. Really good strike. Held up by Duncan, but still there for Holiday. And Murray was trying to side-foot it into the corner. The best moment of the game for Moreton City Excelsior.
Crudely.
Squin Jones just given a little warning by Jonathan Barrero.
But that last attack from Moreton base, it sums up the quality that they can deliver. Great chance in the end. He's a really good player, this guy, and he can hit him. Jack Duncan, textbook save. Beautiful work from the keeper. And that's really good football. Great cup football to get things going on a Saturday evening here at Perry Park in Brisbane.
If he does score, Marcus Walters, watch out for his now trademark shark celebration. Seen one or two kids with the shark fin hats in the stands, which is no doubt a tribute to it.
Well, I don't want to bang on about the same player, but just to say this, 21, you say?
22.
22. So he maybe is a late bloomer. You would imagine he's been in the scene for a while. And if he's been playing like this over the years, I just wonder why he hasn't been touch more seriously looked at. Or we might have missed something. Maybe the clubs have looked at him, but he's in great form at the moment.
He was with the Brisbane Roar Academy when he was younger, and had a stint playing in Victoria for the Preston Lions.
Well, he's a live wire. Very good with the ball. And he's got a nose for goal, as we've seen in this cup competition, and on the back of a very, very productive NPL season.
And by the way, the 2023 campaign wasn't bad for him either. He won the Golden Boot that year. Holiday's been flattened, and Jonathan Barrero needs to stop play to check he is okay. It's a good battle to keep an eye on, that one, isn't it? The experience of Jason Guerrier against the promise of Ben Holiday.
Yeah, well, twice now we've seen there's a little bit of a gap for Holiday to bridge physically, because he's been ironed out twice by Jason Guerrier, completely legally, like nothing malicious, just good, strong, robust defending. One of the best in the league, of course, so it's no slight against anyone to say you're beaten by Jason Guerrier, but twice now. He's just holding the coccyx, a little bit raw.
Felt that one, didn't he?
Sucking in a couple before he gets going again for his team. He's having a great tournament.
I don't know about you, Harps. He does put me in mind a wee bit, and maybe the socks halfway down the shins are an example of it. Just a little bit of Jez Lofthouse, who, you know, got his move to Brisbane really on the back of the Australia Cup.
Yeah, that's it. You know, I don't think that's out of left field completely either, Simon. Lofthouse on the right, Holiday on the left. A couple of nice wingers.
Sure, Brisbane Roar are keeping tabs. Here's Mashash. Given away. Sent forward by Rhys Jones. Quinn Jones, I should say. Teague. Back through Jason Guerrier. Good turn by Zinedine Mashash, driving through that gap and releasing his teammate. Valadon will hang it up towards the back post. It's two. Nikos Vergos at the double. But really, Zinedine Machash was the architect of that, with that driving run through the guts of the Moreton City Excelsior midfield.
Well, it certainly was. And physically, he just burst the game wide open. Valladine dropping the ball in nicely. Defenders, it's all slow motion in the end. The Moreton Bay United defenders couldn't quite get there and ended up watching a Vergos header bounce in off the post to make it 2-0. But Machash was the architect. A beautiful technical turn in the centre of midfield, and then the power to break through the would-be attention of two Moreton Bay opponents. And after consolidating with some good football to try and get themselves back in the game, Moreton Bay now find themselves 2 down again to an A-League team. So history suggests they're not out of it. The football they've shown in the early stages would suggest the same as well, but Melbourne victory might be another consideration.
And of course they are a few weeks further on in their preparations for the A-League season than Perth Glory were in the round of 16. But it's not impossible. As you said, we've seen it before in cup football.
And I have to get in front of the game and apologise for constantly referring to them as Moreton Bay. Moreton City. So
understandable.
I'm suitably chastened, Simon.
Offside flag against Ben Holliday. In fact, it was Zach Kierpel, my mistake. Kierpel has provided a good foil for Marcus Walters in the NPL Queensland season, 15 goals. Holiday looks to be okay after that coming together with Guerrier. He's won the ball back here. Bernardi forced to turn back towards halfway. Sayers. All right, turns it wide. Nice football again by Moreton City Excelsior. By the way, on the topic of Ben Holliday, little birdie tells me that he may have signed for Western Sydney Wanderers. Oh, a cheap giveaway. And Arzani, as Victory go looking for a third. Here's Vergos. Was he clattered into from behind by Jack McInally? Jonathan Barrero says no. That'll be an interesting watch on the replay. On we go. No VAR in the cup, of course. And that's a forlorn chase for Walters. Velupale. Really has been Victory's talisman in the cup so far this season. And tonight, it's all about Nikos Vergos. He's on a hat-trick. Velupale perhaps looking to tee him up. So a bit of contact there. There is by Bernardi. And a free kick for Melbourne Victory. Your thoughts on that possible penalty shout?
Yeah, my first reaction is penalty. Coming from the back, I think it's probably a penalty. This is clearly a free kick, well administered by referee Barrera. Well won by Velupale. Interesting, before we let it go, that Ben Holliday has already been linked, well, you've linked him now, publicly with Western Sydney Wanderers. Simon, I happened to be at Sydney Airport this morning picking up a family member coming in from overseas, unbeknownst to me. It was the same time that Juan Mata arrived. And the Wanderers fans were there out in force. It was brilliant. Good luck to them. Well done. It's really given them a shot in the arm. The arrival of Juan Mata.
There's the free kick, punched away by Nathan Foster. Retrieved by Vergos. Just catching practice second time around. And the other news I have for you from my source is that Marcus Walters is going to have a trial at Adelaide United. My source better be right.
Well, let's hope it's hot sauce. I reckon they're great prospects, both.
Yep.
From what we've seen, now they've got to, they get the chance, they've got to prove themselves. And we wish them well in those endeavours. Got a job to do here, and if Moreton City are to escape the clutches of the victory, then those two players will be prominent.
And isn't that the brilliance of the Australia Cup? It can bring to prominence players perhaps hitherto unknown to the professional ranks. A fairly long list of players who've made that jump. Elvis Kamsoba, Jai Ingham back in the day. Jez Lofthouse, we've already mentioned. Maybe a few more to join the professional ranks.
Antizopoulos is doing it with the Wanderers now. Came out of performances on the national stage against, well, for Oakley Cannons.
Mishash. Just a little bit too far in front of the Lupulé. Valadon. Now Casey Boss. A good show of faith perhaps in Casey Boss at left back by Paddy Kisnorbo at the outset of his coaching career with Victory, ahead of a vastly more experienced Adama Traore.
Well, it is maybe the Victory's advantage if they can accelerate the development and the readiness of Boss. Adama Traore has just been brilliant in the A-League for Victory, for Gold Coast United back in the day, for Western Sydney Wanderers. But no one goes forever. And to have Boss more and more ready for top-flight football on a regular basis is going to be a great thing for both player and club.
Balogun turned into trouble, but got lucky. Competition in the striking ranks now, of course, as well, with Vergos getting the nod over Bruno Fornaroli. He's already rewarded that fate tonight with the opening 2 goals.
He's only had 2 touches, I think, both for goals, apart from that penalty.
He was about to have one, wasn't he?
Well, he was about to have one for a hat-trick. I don't think he's been involved in general play otherwise, maybe once or twice, but nothing substantial. His job is there to lead the line and score goals, and if Victory can get the ball into the penalty area, his job is to finish it off, which he's done on 2 occasions.
Interesting that his numbers across his career suggest that he's not necessarily prolific. His best scoring season, Nikos Vergos, was for Panatolikos a couple of years ago. And that was a tally of 6 goals. I remember a certain Besart Berisha coming to Australia, and his track record wasn't too crash hot either, and that turned out all right, didn't it?
It certainly did. And I guess the difference, without knowing a great deal about Vergos, and we'll happily learn more as he integrates more with the league and getting around the place we can watch him. But Besart Berisha came as a right-sided player, and he converted quite magnificently to a goal-scoring striker. Vergos has come as a striker, albeit, as you report, with troubling the scorers terribly frequently. But he's looked good on his starting moments here at Victory.
Sayers fouled by Valadon, and Moreton City Excelsior keen to get on with things quickly. And Kierpol is offside, not for the first time, and you can see the frustration. He thought that the ball was maybe delayed a fraction too long from teammate Ben Holliday.
Well, try to resist the frustration, because the positive thing is he has drifted there, but the positive thing is constantly looking to get in behind defenders rather than come off defenders and play back to your midfield. He is looking to turn them around and get them played in behind, and obviously you've got to time your runs more, but the intent is good.
It's a bit loose again, and Virgos snips in. Chance for a third goal for Melbourne victory. That's a really, really tidy finish by Casey Boss. And victory are 3 clear. And Moreton City Excelsior can only blame themselves for that cheap turnover of possession.
Ruthless at the moment, victory, aren't they? Moreton City have had some good passages of possession, but it's a sloppy pass, and we've talked about Virgos just being the goal scorer. Now with a great touch to control the ball and a really timely delivery to Boss, right on a tee, and then Boss jinks from his left to his right and beats Foster at his right to make it 3 for victory. Very, very efficient in front of goal, Melbourne victory tonight.
The first senior goal for Casey Boss, brother, of course, of Geordie. He made his name with Melbourne City. And Casey Boss was actually with Melbourne City, but their relocation to Casey led to him switching over to victory. And it looks as though Paddy Kisnorbo may be the beneficiary of that.
Well, I think the Boss family are from Western Melbourne, more Western United territory. So to make the diagonal across the significant conurbation that is Melbourne was probably too much for Casey to bear.
And Canali puts it out in front of Marcus Walters. Cross just a little too strong. Kierpol will desperately try and keep it in. Holiday. And Moreton City Excelsior in a corner.
Not going back into their shell. Just continuing to try and just push Melbourne victory and see what they can get out of the game. This combination down the left-hand side, the overhit pass from Marcus Walters was a little disappointing, but Kierpol retrieved it. Holiday made the positive run. They win the corner from it. Can they threaten from this, though? They haven't looked overly dangerous from the corners they've had so far.
Chris Marr with the delivery towards the back post. It's good climb by Casey Boss. Good release too. Valupale on his way. And the runners are arriving, but the ball didn't. Courtesy of a foul by Nicholas Bernardi, who becomes the first name into Jonathan Barrero's notebook.
Just watching off the ball then, as Valupale gathered the long pass to see who was going to support. There's the yellow card infringement, rightly so, as it was awarded by Barrero. But just watching on the wider angle on that replay, Virgos has got a bit of toe about him. The question was looming as Valupale breaks, who's going to get into the box? And Virgos has gone from a defensive position at the corner to lead that charge. That was an impressive burst. As we go and we continue watching, we can just build a little database on what he's going to bring to the league. Well, he's good in the air. He's put on an assist tonight, and on that last evidence, can motor as well.
And this is almost carbon copy of the first goal situation, but dealt with this time by Rhys Gwynn-Jones at the near post. McAnally will send it long. It's a lovely little touch by Miranda. Another foul. A bit of frustration creeping in perhaps from Moreton City Excelsior. That's a yellow card for Nick Bernardi, by the way. Means he's been booked in every round against Campbelltown City and against Perth Glory, and then now against Melbourne Victory as well. Good story about the game against Campbelltown City, by the way. He works in cabinet making, Nicholas Bernardi. He slept for 2 hours in the dressing room beforehand because he was on an early 4 AM shift. So he got to the ground, stuck his head down, got some kick, and went out and played. Smith finding the gap. Sayers with Valadon on his tail. McAnally back through Gwyn Jones, and now Declan Smith. Paul. Brendan Hamill trying to ensure that he didn't have any room to turn. Sayers looking to spray it out towards the right, but it's beyond the reach of his teammate, Jack McAnally. Back by Mayer. Kirtle and Walters not quite on the same wavelength. Duncan, who signed a one-year deal after a year with Wellington Phoenix, which he failed to appear in any of their A-League matches. But of course, come January, Harps, he's going to have pretty stiff competition as Mitch Langerak returns to victory after his long spell overseas.
Yeah, an outstanding spell overseas. Mitch Langerak, that's a real coup for victory. I'm not sure if Jack Duncan would have reckoned on the form of Alex Paulson last year at Wellington, but once Paulson got in between the sticks, there was no moving him. Maybe Jack will try and ensure that his form is so good that
Who plays ball in? Here's Vergos trying to tee up Arzani. Alex Paulson, of course, will play on loan for a new club, Auckland, this coming campaign. Should make the derby spicy. A newly labelled Kiwi Classico. Are you a fan, Harps?
Oh, well, the fact that there's going to be a derby or the name? Oh, I can cope with it.
Yeah. Arzani trying to lift it in towards Valupale.
So long as the fans love it, that's all that matters to me. Gets them going, and away we go. I'm really looking forward to that one, by the way. It's building quietly. You have Auckland.
Mashash. Arzani. In case the boss was on his way immediately, still might be there for him if he can dig the ball out. It's an almighty scramble, and Mashash on the turn forces a really fine save out of Nathan Foster.
Yeah.
Fingertip stuff
from Foster. Really excellent save, as the ball was begging to find the Moreton City net for a fourth time. Just couldn't clear. Ball stuck there, and there's legs and big toes. Mashash on the turn. It's a brilliant, brilliant tip from the keeper, hands on hips. Nathan Foster, well done to him.
Nikos Vergos sniffing a hat-trick in towards Mashash at the near post. I think he got a little piece of it. Marcus Walters to try and carry the ball upfield, gets a throw. Here's that save again. Brilliant stuff.
Yeah, it really is. There was a fingernail stopping
Benny
three
Bell.
becoming four then.
Arzani, clever ball. Valadon. Didn't quite wrap his boot around it. It's really well played by Moreton City Excelsior, dealing with the high press, playing through the lines. Here goes Holiday, sends the ball in. Marcus Walters at the back post. Well, he did almost everything right, and the bounce took the ball over the bar. And that was a really good move from the NPL Queensland outfit.
Well, they've got plenty of good moves in them, as we've seen, not just tonight, but through the course of the evening. It's a looping delivery from Holiday. It's a really good leap from Marquez Waters, and he just can't quite control the header, unfortunately. Still might have bounced in, so he made something from an awkward situation, but another good indication of what Moreton City have brought to the Cup this year, and it brought tonight as well, despite the fact that Victory have been way too clinical with the chances they've had. Fantastic from Melbourne Victory, so efficient in the front half of the field.
Closing down by Casey Boss. And to coin a phrase, really has bossed it down the left-hand side. And capped off his performance with a goal to make it 3-0. Shash threading the ball through. There's a little shove there. Marzani. Victory just asking the question. And you reckon with they're not 3-0 up, those questions might have been a bit more strident. Well, let's have another look.
I just think you look at the motion of Daniel Marzani. It's pretty hard to manufacture that sort of response without necessary provocation. I think it was a free kick.
Long by Nathan Foster.
Well, if it wasn't the penalty area, then probably a penalty. Maybe if it wasn't the penalty area, you might see the lines. Maybe Jonathan Barrero was thinking, well, not quite definitive enough to award a spot kick. He's free to interpret such things as they see fit.
Teague. With the slightest of stumbles. Sent wide by Miranda. Followed by Hamill. Valadon. Victory building nicely. Nishan Valupale, Mashash. Lovely skills again. It's a miraculous comeback against Perth Glory, but we get the sense as we tick into the final minutes of the first half. Stoppages to come, of course, that maybe this one will be a bridge too far for Moreton City Excelsior. Victory a little bit irritated there that Jonathan Barrera has broken up an attack to pull them back for an injury concern.
Really odd. I mean, the play's been down for a while. the timing of the blowing of the whistle was appalling, because Victory's pass had penetrated the midfield and ended up with a Victory player going towards, if not in, the Moreton City penalty area, only for a drop ball, and it could have happened any time ago. It's causing massive controversy.
Here's Valupale. Able to get the better of Bernardi. It's a handy ball for Walters. Boss with him. The free kick. Linesman was right on hand.
It's a good contest, isn't it? Enjoyed Casey Box. It's a free kick. But he's got great balance, a good turn of speed, very strong around the hips and thighs, and an eye for goal.
A couple of minutes to be added on. Into the first of those now. A free kick for Moreton City Excelsior that, if they could pitch a goal here, would really give them a new lease of life going into the break. And Holiday to send the ball in. It's very deep. Still alive, picked away by Valupale. McInally turning back for Bernardi. Smith gets the return off Seita Murai, who arrived at the club from Robina City on the Gold Coast last year. Before that, played in J3 in Japan and was a former Tokyo Verdy junior. Australia on a student visa where he's learning English. And that is half-time. And there have been some good moments for Moreton City Excelsior. Marcus Walters with a couple of opportunities. He forced one fine save out of Jack Duncan, but Victory have been clinical at the other end. Casey Boss with his first senior goal, and a couple for the new Greek import Nikos Vergos, who's also continuing that discussion about a possible penalty that he felt that Victory should have been awarded. But at the break, the A-League side is pretty much in control. It's Moreton City Excelsior 0, Melbourne Victory 3 at the break. And talking of breaks, we're off to one ourselves. We'll run through all the first half highlights on the other side of it. Don't go away. half-time at Perry Park. No sign of a cup shock, at least not yet. Melbourne victory, the A-League Giants in full control, leading by 3-0. It might have been more, but for that brilliant save from Nathan Foster at the other end. Moreton City Excelsior have had a couple of chances, mainly to Marquez Walters. But Victory, Andy Harper have been clinical in the first 45.
Yeah, they've done well. A couple of not worrying signs, but Moreton City have been here to play, and they've created a couple of chances themselves, which would be a little bit of a concern for Paddy Kuznorbo, but certainly relieved at how good they've been in front of goal to have got their three very efficiently taken goals.
Well, let's have a look at those 3 goals. It all started in the 9th minute, a free kick from Daniel Arzani. And you said, well, Moreton City looked to have got their marking sorted out, but Nikos Vergos somehow found himself with a free header.
Yeah, well, he wasn't the free player, which is the bizarre thing. Mashash is the one who'd lost his marker, but just not tight enough. And the quality of the ball, too, from Daniel Arzani needs acknowledging. So, too, this run from Zinedine Mashash. It's a quality piece of midfield play, real power and thrust and technique to open up the Moreton City defence. Look at this, as he makes the space and then just leaves 2 in his wake. The penetrating pass to reward the diagonal run of Valadon. And slow motion from here, Vergos helping himself to a second. This time the marking wasn't up to scratch. And in off the post for 2-0. Wasn't to be the end of the scoring, of course, and a long ball from Jason Guerrier, not cleared effectively from Moreton City, who in possession just turned it over completely. And Boss links nicely with Vergos. Great controlling touch, nice pass. And rinse, wash and repeat. Nice controlling touch from Bross and a good finish on his right foot to open his senior account and make Victory 3 clear. It might have been 4, as you said, but for that great save from Nathan Foster in goal.
Nick Osvergos, the new Greek import, 2 goals, 1 assist. Bruno Fornaroli watching on, no doubt an interested spectator on the bench. Here's the half-time match stats. 3 shots, just the 1 on target from Moreton City Excelsior, but they have tried to play. They've certainly not been thoroughly outpossessed. And you look at those final third entries, they're not too different either, but it's been the quality of Melbourne Victory that has told. And 4 shots on target have produced 3 goals. So what do Moreton City Excelsior need to do in the second half, apart from the obvious, and try and get on the scoreboard?
Well, it's difficult, Simon, to turn the dial at this point when you consider, the relative, status and CV of the teams. But the difference between good teams and teams that want to be good teams is in both penalty areas, between leagues and within leagues. And between the penalty areas, Moreton City have shown that they can produce some quality. Now, on the back of that, if Walters can get some clear efforts on goal, then they can get back into this. So Holiday and Walters are a big way forward for them, as they've shown, not just tonight, but in the lead-ups to the games tonight. But they've got to tighten up at the back. I think that part of their game has left a little bit to be desired. If they can tighten up defensively, keep playing their thing and keep believing in their play, then they actually have got those dangerous players up front who can swing things their way. But Melbourne Victory are looking pretty good at the moment, you've got to say.
And we've seen a couple of glimpses, haven't we, from the likes of Holiday and Marquez Walters, to show that potentially they could make the step up to A-League class. I mean, that's the rumour, that there is interest in both of them.
Well, apparently better than rumours.
Yep.
As we... No, look, I've been really impressed with both of them, and I think Marquez Walters is one to have a really close look at. I think, particularly in the goal-scoring stakes. Australia hasn't recently very evidently been able to boast about any sort of production line on natural goal scorers. This guy looks like he might be worth a shot, and get him into that environment. Sounds like Adelaide are going to do just that. See how he integrates, and you just never know. But he's certainly made every post a winner in this cup competition. He's really looked good. Now, can he do it consistently at a higher level? Well, that's the big question.
Okay. Well, paying for the thoughts of Bruno Fornaroli, Victory's top scorer with 18 goals last season. But his central striking role currently occupied by Nikos Vergos, and he's doing a pretty good job as well. 2 goals in the first half. Part of a very good Victory performance. Casey Boss striking the third, and barring a miracle comeback from Moreton City Excelsior, which they have done once, of course, in this year's Australia Cup, Victory will be going through to face Adelaide United in the last 4, and that would represent the furthest that Paddy Kosnorbo's ever been in this competition. And they looked reasonably comfortable against a Moreton City side that did try to play, and no doubt will still try to play. It's their last 45 minutes of the season, unless they manage to turn things around tonight, so they can give it their all. No changes, so far as we're aware, made by either coach. And Victory in the all-white strip getting ready to kick us off. 45 minutes to go. Victory 3 goals to the good. Do we sense a miracle comeback, Andy Harper, or not?
Well, not at the moment, but let's get the second half going. If they can score inside the first 10 minutes, then well, I think they'll believe they can do it, which will make for an enhanced watch. I don't think they can let their first goal, whilst of course presuming they can stop Victory from scoring any more themselves, I don't think they can wait much longer than that before things get a little too hard for them.
McInally has lost out. Miranda, the Victory captain, to Brendan Hamill, who's rejoined the club after a very successful 2 years in India with Mohun Bagan. And Victory have got an overload here, and Boss perhaps went the wrong way. Still there for Mashash. Looked as though Geordie Valadon was the easier ball.
Yeah, it was a curious decision from Casey Boss, with so much space right near him.
To be fair, probably the first error he's made tonight.
He's had a good game. It's not to dump rain on the parade, but offside again. By the looks of things.
Yeah, Zach Kierpol has been guilty 2 or 3 times tonight. Hence the exclamation, which we won't repeat. A reminder of the Moreton City Excelsior team lineup. Tonight, Nicholas Bernardi, the only yellow card in the first half of the game. Just the one change from the side that lost to the Lions in the grand final at Suncorp Stadium. That's the inclusion of Jack McAnally. I'm sure we will see Super sub Joey Scott at some point. And they scored the winner against Perth Glory in the last round. Particularly if Moreton City do manage to get on the board.
Yeah, well, that was, I mean, their comeback against Perth Glory was just such an exciting night. Not for Glory fans, of course, but for the Moreton City players and fans. It was exhilarating, actually, watching it, watching this team pick itself up off the canvas and, with no small measure of quality, win the day. Can they access similar reserves here?
There's Marcus Walters, who's got the better of Roderick Miranda for the moment and fires in the cross. It was a little bit too high for Kierpol, but he managed to deflect it towards Murai. And they're not quite able to link up with Holiday.
Nevertheless, it was a good situation. Walters' ball overhit, of course, but there was still the opportunity, and Murai just found his passing, which is generally pretty tidy, go astray on 2 or 3 key occasions. That was one such occasion. And City might have seriously threatened the goal of Melbourne victory.
Boss almost dallied on the ball for too long. Threaded through by Teague and further beyond by Arzani. Boss losing out to Reece Gwyn-Jones. McAnally thought he'd got the throw. Not so. Disputing the rules as a man who studies law during the day at the University of Queensland. Objection, Your Honour, he said to the referee.
The best you can do is note an objection. The judge runs the show. In this case, someone of his own significant legal status, Jonathan Barrero,
Yep,
barrister by trade.
Pulling rank.
Pulling rank, the apprentice says to the master.
Declan Smith trying to thread it in behind Guerrier. Murai. Kierpol. Again, well read by Guerrier, but turned straight back over to Chris Marr. Little clip over the top, Holiday. Walters waits in the middle. Off the chest of Miranda. Victory survived that quite comfortably.
Yeah, more comfortably than they should have been allowed to, actually. Holiday, for a rare moment, was in some measured space where he had time to deliver with that very, very sweet left foot that he has, but unfortunately for his team, he couldn't deliver. 3-1. And Moreton City would have gotten the charge, and he might have believed. As moments come, they have to be way more effective. It's hard enough to find any space to play constructive football against a team like Melbourne Victory, who are really looking pretty smooth at the moment. But when those chances do come, you have to concentrate and make the most of it.
Marcus Walters. Murai, and here's a chance for Walters, potentially. Brave goalkeeping by Jack Duncan to deny Marcus Walters, who looks hopefully for a penalty, and then Kierpol as well. And Jonathan Barrero not interested in either appeals. Just for a moment again, they got in behind Melbourne Victory.
Well, it was well defended in the end by Melbourne Victory because Walters bearing down on goal. It was a very tight chance for him. Interesting to see if his claims for a penalty had any validity to them at all.
Holiday. And that's very well marshalled by Jason Gary.
And here's the chance now. In on front of goal. I don't think there's any penalty claim in that. Jack Duncan has just fallen to smother, which is his right. Tough chance for Walters. Just couldn't quite stab the ball as was required. It's a good patch of play, 7 minutes of this second half, and basically it's been Moreton City with the ball and in Victory's half. A couple of half sights at the goal, a couple of half-threatening moments around the penalty area. If they can use that as a foundation and go from, then they might be able to get themselves back into this cup tie.
Leopold. Murray. Looking to have a go. Good save, Jack Duncan. Because that had a bit of power behind it.
Well, in the last minute or so, they've had launched two threatening exercises on the Victory goal. Here's Walters forcing Jack Duncan to snuff out his effort close, and this was a pretty sharp, if routine, bit of work there from Jack Duncan in the Victory goal, but it was a nice hit from Murray. That's more like what he has to offer. Very tidy on the ball, but he's shown he's got a bit of a powerful shot there too.
And Leopold suffering a bit of collateral damage as he collided with Duncan. And now Victory have come away with the ball. Could be danger looming for Moreton City, but Valupale dispossessed. And Chris Marr will send it long for the run of Marquez Walters. The goal might just change the complexion of the game here. Marquez Walters. And it's fingertipped over by Jack Duncan for a corner.
They're coming, aren't they? If they can ensure that they don't let Victory cop one on them on the break, and that's the way Victory looking like hurting them at the moment, then City can get back into this. It is going to be through Marquez Walters or Ben Holiday. Again, he shows he's a handful down that right-hand side.
There's the corner. Oh, and that was a towering header from Declan Smith. But unfortunately for Moreton City, Excelsior wide of the target. He's 6'4", difficult to stop in the air.
Powerful, powerful header. I was waiting for that to go into the back of the net as it happened. It's a really meaningful run at the ball and a powerful contact. And inside the last 2 minutes, or 3 minutes now, Simon, Moreton City have asked 3 probing questions of Melbourne Victory. They're not far away from getting their goal and reigniting their hopes here at Perry Park.
Victory looking to restore a modicum of control. Daniel Arzani on the ball. Valadon. There's a bit of space here for Casey Boss. Arzani runs straight into Gwyn Jones. Machash. Teague. Valadon for Arzani. Looking for that run in behind of Valupale, but too close to Foster. First really decent spell of possession that Victory had had for quite a few minutes. Leopold headed off by Guerrier. It's going to be a Victory throw, and Moreton City Excelsior not happy about that. Oh, change of mind. Ben Holiday. Switch for Jack McAnally looking to measure the cross. Gerrier let it run. And that could have been problematic. In the end, it requires an intervention at the expense of a corner, perhaps to save an opening goal for Moreton City.
It's a last-ditch stretch from Brendan Hamill, I think, at this point. Again, it's great purpose from Moreton City. Hesitation, this time from Jason Gerrier. First blemish for him tonight. Hamill swooping in to save the day, really. Jack Duncan might have had some work to do then again.
Here's the corner. It's Chris Marr, very nearly got the NPL Queensland outfit on the board. Victory have lost the ball again. And a bit short on numbers defensively this time. Holloway's run out of it. And again, the appeals fall on deaf ears.
Just needed a little bit stronger in his mind and body then.
He's kept the ball alive. Tidy work by McAnally.
The door is certainly ajar for Moreton City if they can find one telling blow. And they've come very close in recent moments, and he just needs to be stronger on the ball and stronger in his mind to make sure that nothing's going to stop him from finishing that possession the way he intends it to be finished.
Jason Gerrier creeping forwards, and fans in the Bill Waddell stands not slow to let the referee know that he was stealing those inches. No movement as yet on the benches, but I'm sure that will change in the next 5 or 10 minutes. Arzani. Ashash. That's the return of Valupale. And Valupale stealing in behind. Well, smothered by Nathan Foster. Told that Cameron Miller is indeed preparing Joseph Scott to come off the bench next break in play. City fans trying to get behind their team. They've given a good account of themselves in the second half. We have half an hour to play as of now. And they've still got a long way to go if they're to mount another comeback. And foul on Casey Boss, which has also led to an attack of the Craps. Allows Cameron Miller to make that change. Lachlan Sayers to be withdrawn, and 24-year-old Joseph Scott, who's got a habit of scoring in big games, not just that winner off the bench against Perth in the round of 16. He also scored an absolute stunning free kick in the NPL Queensland semi-final against Peninsula Power, and apparently the same in the semi-final last year as well.
Well, a goal would be just the tonic, as it was last round of the Cup.
And by the way, just to boot, Joseph Scott works as a manager at BWS, and he recently won Manager of the Year.
Of the year?
So congratulations to him. Yeah, it might be an early shout a couple of months ago, but maybe he's just that good.
You don't have to go that far to pop the champagne corks anyway. Oh, well done to him. Not on thin ice, Victory. They're looking very comfortable and perhaps maybe a little lazy because of the 3-goal lead they've got, and probably a belief that if they need to, they can turn things around. And it's been all Moreton City in this half. Victory have seen away a few dangerous moments.
It's an awkward stretch that for Casey Boss, who's had a very good night otherwise.
Yeah, it's good to see. Good to see how he's going. It's a bit of a concern, however. So there's nothing, a little twinge in that calf. It is just cramped. Painful enough as they are.
Victory do have options on the bench. Left back Adama Traore, of course. Josh Rawlins can also fill in that position.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing how Josh Rawlins settles back into A-League football. Another wonderful young talent. No surprise when he left Perth to go to Europe. Now that he's back, we'll see what sort of shape he's in and we'll get things going again.
Yes, we did have a loan spell back at Glory at the back end of last season. He's opted to continue his career on a full-time basis with Victory. His boss seemingly showing no after effects of left leg problem. Guerrier. Gorkos let it run. He didn't quite anticipate that.
No, it did look like he was towing a caravan when he decided that he needed to go and get that one.
As it stands, Melbourne Victory will be going to Adelaide United in the last 4 of the Cup. The Reds, of course, perennial challengers for this particular trophy. 3 times winners. Victory not far behind with 2.
Extra instalment at the Southern Classico. Here we goes, Australia.
Marcus Walters on the right. Guerrier winning it pretty comfortably in the air, but it's still not away for Victory. And Teague completes the tidy up. Steady down by McAnally. And the cross has gone all the way through. It's going to be a corner for Moreton City.
Well, if Moreton City manage to get the goal and liven up the remaining half hour at least of this cup, then it will be because they've worked hard for it. But a contributing factor is that Melbourne Victory have really dropped off. Understandable that that might happen, but they're courting a little bit of danger here.
Scott's corner, up and out by Hamill. And Guerrier. Kierpol. Shash too strong for it. Ball didn't go out, and Victory have pinched it. Arzani will send it forward, and Nishan Valupalai is away, looking to continue his great record in the Australia Cup, and he does so with aplomb to finish off the tie at 4-0. It is his 5th goal in this year's Australia Cup. 2 assists to go with that as well, and Moreton City Excelsior are sunk on the counter. Great finish.
Well, again, it's Moreton City wondering where the difference between the teams are and the quality is, and they've asked plenty of questions but haven't been able to score. Victory have dropped off defending their 3-goal lead, and then when they get their chance, away they break. It's a lovely first-time ball from Daniel Arzani, and he showed great athleticism there. Nishan Valupalai just streak away from the retreating defenders, and a beautiful little touch over the advancing keeper Nathan Foster in the Moreton City goal to make it 4. They played this half like they knew they could get a goal when they needed one. Taking it easy in comparative terms till then, Melbourne Victory, and it's provided perhaps for a false dawn for Moreton City that they could get back into it. Well, they had their chances, not being able to score, and then watching Victory help themselves to a 4th has probably done this one.
What a competition Nishan Velupillay is having, and it's the 3rd cup tie in a row that Victory have hit 4 goals. Double change, triple change, in fact, for Melbourne Victory. Adama Traore to replace the tiring Casey Boss. Reno Piscopo is going to come on in place of Daniel Arzani, who claims an assist for that 4th goal. And Nikos Vergos, who did his best work in the first half with 2 goals, will make way for the introduction of Jing Rees, freshly arrived from treble-winning Central Coast Mariners, of course, during the off-season. But the job is all but done for the A-League outfit.
And now it's the opportunity of the understudies, if we can call it that, certainly based on tonight's team sheet, to make a name for themselves in the eyes of coach Patrick Kusnorba. And the time that remains for Moreton City, on the national stage at least, is for those aspiring young players themselves to make an imprint.
Jing Rees trying to get involved in the game early. There's the state of play, with just under a quarter of the game to go. It doesn't look like we're going to have a cup shot tonight. And you did always get that sense, Harps, and you mentioned it a couple of times, that if necessary, Victory did have another gear. Yeah. And they showed it.
Most certainly. In fact, it's been a good cut for them so far. They've just shown a great conversion rate in front of goal. Like, one that we haven't seen from a team for a while. Really putting their chances away.
Is there any consolation left for Moreton City Excelsior at the end of this exhilarating cup run that they've had? The furthest they've ever been in this competition.
Yeah, well, they've won plenty of friends. I would say that, and even in this match, which is looming as a pretty heavy defeat at this point, but they've continued to try and play their thing, and you have to admire that approach. Need to tighten up in 1 or 2 areas, and the quality differential has shown through. But they've offered plenty in this instalment of the Australia Cup. They might be able to boast that they've provided a launching pad for another couple of A-League careers. We'll see.
Just actually produced one of their very first A-League graduates, a player called Arthur De Lima. Spent 4 years with the Moreton City Excelsior Academy, has signed on for the Central Coast Mariners. As you mentioned, Harps, I'm sure there's 1 or 2 more to follow. Ben Holliday looks a done deal, maybe Marquez Walters. Who knows who else has caught the eye?
Maybe the coach himself, Simon.
Yep.
He's got dreams as well, and he's done a good job with this team.
City Excelsior get the whistle. 1 or 2 ironic cheers from the home fans. Referees are never popular, are they? There's Declan Smith. All right. rewarding that run of Marquez Walters. Murray again. Smith. The pressure from Rees. Bernardi. Sayers. Rather Murray, I should say. Momentum that they had in the opening 15 minutes, 20 minutes perhaps, the start of the second half, has all but evaporated now on the back of that fourth goal.
Shaping up as our last visit. To Perry Park for another season of Australia Cup football. It's always nice coming back to Perry Park. A lot of memories for a lot of people around the game for this venue that stands the test of time. Doesn't change much over the years.
There are plans, but then there have been plans for a long time, haven't there?
There have been plans, Simon. There have been plans for this wonderfully positioned football resource. We live in hope.
One day, perhaps. Now, changes for Moreton City Excelsior. Imran Donnelly-Fagan is going to replace Chris Marr. And the veteran Sam Knight, who's 36 years of age now, who's a tree lopper by trade, is going to replace Jack McAnally. Declan Smith letting the ball run for his goalkeeper. He and Donnelly-Fagan, incidentally, share a house together.
Tree house?
No, that's Sam Knight who's the tree lopper.
We'll get Sam in then.
And talking of best buddies in the team, Dan Holliday and Zach Kierpol actually work together. They run a social media marketing company called Brand Boost.
Got the whole kit and caboodle here. Moreton City.
Yeah, very tight-knit club.
Many industries covered. And playing good football too. They've certainly, with their efforts, have boosted the brand of Moreton City through this cup run. It's going to peter out here at Perry Park.
Victory get the decision as Renaud Piscopo went to ground. And there's going to be another change here for Victory. Would be Richie Beno's favourite football change, 2 for 22.
In the off-white. In the off-white as well.
Yeah. Josh Rawlins to replace Jason Gary. He's had a fine night and has dealt pretty well with the threat of Ben Holliday.
Yeah. He's a wonderful player. Jason Gary, hopefully, as we saw last year with that injury run well behind him, he can power on. He's got so much still to offer.
Kept in by Piscopo. There's Roderick Miranda at the back post. So 4 against the Lambton Jafters in the round of 32, 4 against NWS Spirit in the round of 16, and 4 again tonight for Melbourne Victory. Just the one conceded going the other way. Very early days, of course, Harps. A-League season doesn't start for another few weeks yet, but hard not to think that they won't challenge under Patrick Kisnorbo.
Well, the Cup is a good bellwether. The run in the Cup is a really good bellwether. And notwithstanding the context of the victories, NWS Spirit is a lower-ranked NPL team in New South Wales, and the Jaffers playing in northern New South Wales. Well, their season has collapsed completely. A couple of games leading into that Cup match against Victory and beyond. This has been a more interesting test, and Moreton City have had some very good moments. Needless to say, the dial is going to be turned up when they take on their old foes, the Adelaide Reds, in the semi-final.
Well, that should be quite a contest, that one. Shot on target, long way out. Well taken by Jack Duncan. It was heading goalwards. And the two players starting to suffer with cramp. Jonathan Barrera just checking on Zach Kierpol. And we rejoin Moreton City Excelsior for a second spell during the last off-season in the NPL Queensland. From Olympic, along with Lachlan Sayers, one of his teammates tonight. He's struggling a bit after that little bout of cramp. Teague. Shash. Traore. Victory just that little bit sharper. Teague. Shash. He's got the energy to gallop after that return ball. Piscopo waiting. And it goes off Murray for a corner.
Good save that from Murray. Piscopo would have had a little bit of a job controlling that ball. It wasn't going to be a straightforward effort, nevertheless. Murray needed to slide in and intercept. Shash bursting down the right. There's Piscopo leaning. It's a good intercept. That's going to be not a routine gather and shot from Piscopo, within his capability, of course, but not straightforward.
Into the last 10 minutes. Teague's corner. By Gwyn Jones at the near post. No-look pass from Teague. Valupale. Mashash. Heavy touch. Change is imminent for Moreton City. Cameron Miller perhaps just eager to give all of his remaining squad members a bit of a taste of this sort of an occasion. Able to build something here. Kierpol went for the first time cross. It's beyond Walters, but he still had the energy to track it down. There's Holiday available. That was asking just a little bit too much of Marquez Walters. Zach Kierpel, who has been struggling with cramp, is going to make way. This is Seita Murai. Liam Byrne and Will Edmiston are the two replacements. Liam Byrne, just 19 years of age. He's actually the brother of the coach. Different surnames, but they are brothers. Will Edmiston, 23 years of age, who's been with the club since he was 12 years old and works in a bank during the day. Long-range effort, which Jack Duncan seemed fairly comfortable, was going well wide.
And not a bad strike at goal. Those attacks on the Victory. The goal have dried up for Moreton. No surprise that that's coincided with Lupule scoring a Victory's fourth. It's really sucked the air out of the Moreton City cause. It's the first shot, first attempt on the Victory target of any sort since that fourth goal. Up until that point, they were really playing some enterprising stuff, just lacking that cutting edge, perhaps.
Piscopo, lovely release. Was sensational from Reno Piscopo. Here's Mashash, fed by the Lupule to manoeuvre into a scoring position. Interesting season, an interesting move ahead for Reno Piscopo. He's been at a few A-League clubs. Really set the heather on fire at the Newcastle Jets, had some injury problems. And no doubt he's a talented player. Can he establish himself in this Melbourne Victory team? Neatly tidied up by Roderick Miranda. Miranda again. Preparing for his fourth season in Victory Blue. Up on by Mashash. Lupule and Jing Reese waiting. Important touch that from Gwyn Jones.
Rare thing for Victory so far in this cup. That was a great chance for them to really go for goal, and just rather soft effort in the end, given what they've shown us in the 3 cup ties so far. They've really been ruthless. And that was certainly more soft than they've shown to date, but it's late in this game. The job's done. They'll be turning their attention to Adelaide United before much longer, and that is going to be a hell of a semi-final. 2 good semis, actually. The South Melbourne dream remains alive.
Walters for Sam Knight. Can he get a decent ball in? It's not bad, but Josh Rawlins was there. This is Edmiston. And sent over the top.
MacArthur looking to secure the chance to make it 2 cups in 3 seasons. South Melbourne will have that game at home, and I think we could reasonably expect, well, let's firstly hope for some decent weather, because the quarterfinal the other night was hammered by that appalling weather. Probably took a significant chunk off the gate. Let's hope they get a good set of circumstances. South Melbourne to host a huge semi-final of the Cup.
Melbourne Victory throw. Zinedine Mashash has been good again tonight. His performance exemplified for the second goal with that driving run through midfield. Valadon with time to turn. Rawlins and Hamill for Miranda. Piscopo with Gwyn Jones just nipping away at the heels, or rather Edmiston. Late change for Melbourne Victory. Like for like, Fabian Monge to relieve Geordie Valadon. He and Ryan Teague have set a pretty good platform for victory tonight.
He made great strides, Valadon, towards the end of last season under Tony Popovic. Actually, Fabian Monge was doing well also under Popper. To start this in preparation for the new A-League season and in contesting this current Australia Cup, Valadon has got the nod. Done well. He and Ryan Teague, two very accomplished players, setting a good foundation for the team. It'll be a whole new test against Adelaide United.
Piscopo sidestepping the first challenge with ease. Quite able to get the return ball from Mashash, who probably did impede Declan Smith, but a good advantage played by Jonathan Barrero. And Marcus Walters races down the right, and there's a little bit of contact there with Roderick Miranda, but again waved away by Jonathan Barrero. He's not been impressed by any of those shots tonight from either team.
No, good contest. He's got him beaten, and then the question one must ask rhetorically is, having beaten him, why would he go down? I think there was a little bit of a helping hand or elbow forearm there from Roderick Miranda. Referee has to compute in a millisecond whether he thinks that contact is meaningful.
There could be some late chances here, perhaps, for them to get on the board. Here's Walters, surely, but no. And in the end, Brendan Hamill is happy to help it over the crossbar. They seem certain to score there, Moreton City Excelsior.
And should have. The victory in the end have done what they've needed to do. It's great desperation from Jack Duncan there too. Brendan Hamill's been there or thereabouts to see off the danger.
And those youngsters disappointed. Their team didn't get on the board as the 90 minutes ticks up. And referee Barrero spotted something untoward in there.
Well, in some senses, it's a little bit of a shame that Moreton City haven't been able to get a goal to their name. They've certainly been good for one. A goal more on the back of some of their quite nice football would have been more appropriate, but at this point you take what you can get, and it. Victory has spoilt the party, showing great desperation on their own line to keep a clean sheet.
And just the 3 minutes to be added at the end. We're in the first of those now. The days of the semi-final fixtures and the venue confirmation will come on Monday, by the way, by Football Australia. Probably to be held next weekend. There's a bit of late joy here, and again Jack Duncan called into action. And he is equal to it. Made a couple of good stops tonight, Jack Duncan.
Yeah, including that fine save off Marcus Walters in the first half. largely untroubled Paddy Kisnorbo. 12 goals for, none against, and 3 cup matches. The 1 against. The Ledger's looking pretty good. They might have conceded 1 or 2 tonight.
Final minute of what has been an entertaining contest. Victory showing their class in the end. Looking here for a 5th goal. Zinedine Mashash looking to join in. Dribbles wide if that left hand upright. Maybe just time for Moreton City Excelsior to get the ball up the other end. It's a tired looking pass. And Victory should be able to run down the clock from here. Jabbed forward by Rawlins and then Monge. Shash still full of running. Quick check of the watch from referee Jonathan Barrero. And in a moment or two, Victory's place in the last 4 will be confirmed. There we go. Lightning did not strike twice for Moreton City Excelsior. Victory in the end, too professional, too good. And into the semi-finals for the 4th time in their history as Paddy Kisnorbo moves to within 1 game of a major final in just his 3rd game in charge of Melbourne Victory. 2 goals for Nikos Virkos in the first half. 1 for Casey Boss gave them a 3-0 lead at the break. And Moreton City did try to take the game to them in the second half. And they created 1 or 2 chances. A couple of good saves made by Jack Duncan to preserve Victory's clean sheet. And then on the breakaway, Nishan Velukale adding a 4th, his 5th goal of this Australia Cup run, which takes Melbourne Victory into the semis. Full time at Perry Park, Moreton City Excelsior 0, Melbourne Victory 4. And overall, a thoroughly professional display by the professional club, Andy Harper.
Yeah, indeed. And Moreton City have given us a lot to think about, a lot to talk about in their performances in the Cup, and big congratulations to them. But the golfing class was clearly evident when it really mattered here, and that's in both penalty areas. Moreton City created some good football but couldn't get the chances past a resolute Victory defence, who, as much as they slackened off, if I can use that term, in the second half, were evidently just too good for the likes of Marquez Walters to get through them. But it's one example of, and one of the reasons why this Cup competition is so fresh and green and so wonderful, that these clubs from all over Australia get to put themselves on a national stage, show themselves what they're about, show their club's colours and badges and history and what they've got to offer the national scene. And certainly Moreton City have done that in spades in this Cup run. It comes to an end here at Perry Park. So to our visit to the home of football in Queensland for another Cup season, which is another story. But Melbourne Victory march on to a familiar place, which is close to the top of the pile, where they'll challenge for the silverware again.
All right, let's have a look at the highlights. Casey Boss letting go away will be a concern perhaps for Paddy Kisnorbo, but he was part of a very good Victory performance. It all started in the 9th minute, Arzani's free kick, and Nikos Virkos with the first of his 2 goals, Andy.
So much of this goal sort of summed up Victory's performance tonight. When they needed it, they were spot on and very clinical. And that delivery from Arzani was pinpoint, and so efficient was the finish from Nikos Virkos. And then it was Mashash going through the gears in midfield. Moreton City had nothing to put to him to stop him from making this incursion and then really setting up the attack. This is a good reward for Jordi Valadon, who works really hard and very impressively without a lot of mentions, but he's the one who put on that assist for the 2nd goal. This is a disappointing one for Moreton City. Defending for them was difficult tonight when Melbourne Victory decided they had a point to make. So when it came, and they've really turned one up for them, and Casey Boss makes it 3, and the game's sort of out of their reach. They played well thereafter, but 3 just tightens the vessels that little bit more and makes the belief a little bit harder. And it was a good finish from Casey Boss. I share your concern with him limping off. They'll be wanting to watch that. Might just be cramp. Let's hope it's nothing worse. And then, in the face of what has been a relentless series of attacks from Moreton City, Daniel Arzoni with the first-time pass to the on-running Ishan Volupale, who's doing pretty well in this cup, as you've reported a couple of times already this evening, Simon. In full flight with a really controlled finish over the top of Nathan Foster to finish the deal here for victory. Take all the oxygen out of the Moreton City campaign, and it was just sailing home from there for the victory, 4-0.
Yep, his 5th goal of this Australia Cup run, which puts him out at the top. Here's the full-time match stats. Well, there you go. Moreton City Excelsior actually mustered up 12 shots, which was 3 more than Melbourne Victory, but in terms of on-target, 5 apiece, and Victory converted 4 of those. Those possession stats certainly equaled up a fair bit in the second half.